Hey, we're here with Ankur, and we're excited to have you in the interview. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell a little bit what you do in general and in Russia?
Yeah, so my name is Ankur Jain, and I'm the founder and chairman of the Kairos Society, which has brought together the world's brightest young entrepreneurs to say, how do we create the next billion-dollar companies that solve our world's greatest problem?
So what's your interest in Russia?
So it's amazing how much innovation is being developed in Russia right now. You look at some of the smartest young people in the world are Russian. But I don't think that the young Russian entrepreneurs who have the ability to change the world have been fully exposed to the opportunities to do so, but also the global community of peers just like them who also want to change the world. And so my goal is to help find these young entrepreneurs here in Russia and bring them into this global community so that entrepreneurs in India, China, the United States, Europe can work with these bright young people here in creating the next big generation of companies.
Have you done that with any other country already?
Yeah, so the Kairos Society has been built out now not only across the United States, but in China, in India, the Middle East, all across Europe, and across Latin America. So Russia is one of the final frontiers we're hoping to tap into.
Okay, interesting. What do you think of Russian government is obviously trying to do something with it, but a lot of people think that they're missing the point a little bit.
So I think, first of all, everyone here is extremely lucky to have a government that has publicly acknowledged and prioritized innovation. It's one of these core issues that not only drives economic growth, but is what creates the breakthrough technologies that allow a country to stay ahead of the world. And right now you're seeing that even in countries like the United States, innovation is losing a little bit of focus. So for Russia to be promoting that, I think is a great blessing for all the young entrepreneurs here. The way the Russian government is going about it is debatable. I think the program is a fantastic concept, and now it's just going to be a matter of execution, because Russia needs to make sure that it's attracting not just Russian entrepreneurs, but entrepreneurs from outside of Russia to really create that culture at Skolkovo.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it's important for Russian entrepreneurs, at least at the beginning, to go to the States and vice versa?
It depends what you're going after. So I think there's absolutely value in coming to somewhere like Silicon Valley to see how entrepreneurship works. But at the same time, Silicon Valley has its own setbacks, right? The way that things are done are very focused right now on social media. And so for entrepreneurs in Russia, I think the most important thing is to understand, first of all, your domestic market. And to do that, really spend time with existing successful entrepreneurs in Russia. And then as you look at foreign markets, I would recommend not just going to Silicon Valley, but spending time in places like Europe, Los Angeles, New York, so you can truly understand the breadth of different business applications.
So you're saying they just need to learn the model, how it works, and then apply it to Russia?
I mean, so there's no secret sauce to entrepreneurship, right? Sure. Success is going to be varied, but there are consistent principles that successful people have. And so you can find that whether you go to Silicon Valley, look here in Russia, go to India. I mean, the basic principles of continuous persistence, a resilience to never give up, and an understanding of seeing entrepreneurship not as starting a company, but solving a problem. These are things that you can learn from entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs anywhere in the world. But going to the United States to try and figure out the secret sauce of what to do to create a company doesn't necessarily apply anywhere else.
So yeah, everyone wants to create a company, fundraise, and then do something. And
yeah,
I mean, you always think big. You never look at this, like in caps, just raising the food, this kind of stuff. I mean,
Well, I think most entrepreneurs think really, really big. I mean, there's a funny quote that entrepreneurs are almost delusional. We think that we can accomplish the craziest, biggest ideas. And whether or not that's true, it's what keeps us going every single day, wakes us up every morning to think that an individual can change the world. And it may be delusional, but it's what's allowed people like Steve Jobs or Richard Branson or Bill Gates to succeed. And I think you're going to find the next people that are going to change the world here in Russia. And it's just a matter of people here looking at problems not just from a local perspective, but from a global perspective. Because, I mean, if entrepreneurship is about solving problems, then the biggest problems in the world are the greatest opportunities. And entrepreneurs here in Russia have the potential to solve these big problems if they look at the world as their marketplace and not just Russia.
Mm-hmm. We have this kind of problem in Russia, because in America you have this American dream, which everyone's pursuing and trying to change the world and think big. But in Russia, I talk to a lot of people who are trying to incubate startups and to work with startups, but they kind of not believing in themselves.
Sure.
I mean, how would you suggest to change that, or at least try to
I think
do that?
the most important thing that entrepreneurs do is we surround ourselves with people like us. And it allows us to insulate ourselves in this almost a bubble of a contained world where things are possible. And you see that in Silicon Valley, where anybody thinks they can succeed. And they have that community around them to support them. So that's something I think Skolkovo has the potential to accomplish. But more importantly, I think Russian entrepreneurs need to band together with other entrepreneurs in Russia, but also reach out beyond Russian borders to find that community, to keep the belief that these crazy ideas are possible and keep that alive. And when you do that and you start realizing that it's okay to fail as long as you succeed in the end, I think you'll change the perspective in the culture dramatically.
Well, we'll have a long way to go there, but I hope we'll get there.
I do as well.
All right, so thank you for your time, and
Thank you.
pleasure to meet you.
No, thank you so much.